buy score. Holy shit, dude.
From what? Electabuzz?
Yeah. Oh my god. It does like 90%. Like
Yeah,
it
right.
does a lot.
You still couldn't like farm them down, right?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you can find in the Glide score, right? Not the Gligar.
Yeah, sure.
The Gligar's a little bulkier.
Just a quick thing for those who are watching the VOD of this later. We're just gonna be chilling for like 5 to 10 minutes, just so people can file into the stream. So if you're watching the VOD, just skip ahead that long. Or you can just check out the chat.
One thing I wanted to say just quickly as my initial take on this meta is like, I think you need to squeeze a normal type into your team somewhere because dark types are banned, and like Ghost is too strong if you don't have a normal type somewhere on your team.
So you're saying there'll be just no fighters around?
You can like Poliwrath is a fighter that does okay against some of the ghosts, right? But I will say that like the normal types that are available in this meta aren't exactly amazing. I really was looking at Beware until I realized it was banned. So
is Beware banned?
Yeah, certain generation Pokemon are banned.
Ah, yeah, of course. Yep.
Like I think like a Alolan is banned or something. So because I was looking like at the different typings, like what can I get that's normal in that typing, you know? Like I was looking at like Ghosts. We don't have normal Ghosts. Poison normal. We don't have a Poison normal. Dragon normal. We don't have. Flying normal. We have a lot of flying normals, right?
Yeah.
Ground normal. There's like one that comes to mind, but I'm not sure how good ground is going to be in this meta because there's going to be a lot of water and ice, I think. The ground normal is obviously Diggersby, so anytime it's eligible, it's probably decent-ish because it's so bulky, right? But I'm not sure if it's going to be that good. And then the other normal types that are eligible are basically like Bibarel.
You're gonna blow all our content in the first 5 minutes.
No, I'm just talking about normal types. It's like a teaser. Because Ghost, like specifically Cofagrigus, I think it's so good. It's so neutral. It's like it has play against almost everything. So.
Alright, I will just share the links to things, and then I'll be good to go. I mean, we'll probably chat for a bit longer, but yeah. I've also
open. Yeah, it's very good. Tricky. It's gonna be tricky though. Great League. Meta. What's restricted?
What should I say? Come and throw shade at Lyle.
For what?
Just for no reason. Just because it's fun. I'm just putting the Twitter post out there.
Story of my life. Story of my life.
So we're live with a breakdown. We'll go full breakdown of Silph. Got to tag Silph. Vanguard. Hello, Chris. Are you doing factions, Chris?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think mainly I'm going to be doing open because I think it's, I don't know, some people consider it one of the tougher matchups to deal with just because of the variability, right? Like as we saw last night with Ember, you kind of have like a general consensus of what you could be expecting from your opponent, right? Whereas like with open metas, it's kind of more like all over the place, right? Depending on what they want to do. So
I should have tagged Lyle.
Congrats on Legend Fish. And no,
oh, thank you.
I'm doing factions since I'm on holiday. Oh, okay. Well,
cool.
Enjoy your holiday. Factions is like a year-round thing, basically. So like, it just ended. Although it's been super relaxing without factions. Like, I'm so much more chill now. I think I was stressing too much during factions, like trying to make sure everyone's prepared. You know, we're trying to help the team, all sorts of things.
Yeah, you're a very selfless man.
I mean, we made it to. We're up into silver now. So
let's go. Silver is
we got the double.
Silver is like so it's like iron, then.
So so it goes iron, copper, bronze.
Oh, and bronze as well. Jeez.
Bronze, silver. So like last cycle we were in copper, and we got double promoted, or we were in bronze. No, wait, does it go copper then bronze? I think yeah, we were in copper, so we got double promoted to silver. So
nice work, and I'm not surprised because like once again,
it was
the team
we did
stacked.
lose 1 week, but we did pretty well in that cycle, and it's funny because the team that we just lost to in the previous cycle, like that just finished right ahead of us, now we're in the same tier as them because they only got single promoted, and we got double promoted. So, yeah, it should be fun. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, I think I'm done with all that. Gonna see what the pogo scene in the Philippines is like. Well, what was it like when you left? I don't know how long you've been in Sydney. Was pogo a thing when you left Philippines?
For sure. Asian countries? Come on, dude. I mean, like if it's after 2016, right?
Well, that's the point. Like, if I don't know how long you've been in Sydney, he might have come before Pokemon Go was a thing.
I mean, anytime after 2016, those Asian countries are popping off with the pogo scene.
It's just popping off. I've also just
you see that one guy in like, I don't know where that is, Singapore, Thailand, or something. He's got the bicycle with like 30 phones on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's been there since 05. So, I mean, that predates pogo. That predates YouTube actually. So.
No, really?
Yeah, YouTube was like 07, I think, something like that. Fish, you're old fish.
I doubt it was that.
Okay.
I reckon it's earlier.
Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong.
What's your guess? 2000.
I think it was like 2007, somewhere around there was when YouTube started getting on
the iPhone was 2007. Okay, look. You are wrong.
Oh my god, 1 year.
Close enough. 2007 to 2005, 1 year.
Is it 5 or 6? It looks like a 6.
That's a 5.
Bro, your internet's so scuffed. I can't even see.
I think that's a you problem. But,
I don't think it is.
You're.
But like, to be fair, it was founded in 2005, right?
Yeah.
Nobody was watching YouTube in 2005, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it took a couple years.
You're close enough that like you still come out of that with your head held high.
Yeah, I know my shit. So White Chocolate needs help. We can try our best.
White Chocolate is on the APAC team, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we on our APAC team, the Pallet Town APAC team.
Oh, okay. Good luck. I know he's in New Zealand, right? I think something like that. Or is that wrong?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, because I watch his streams sometimes. I know he gets like the early, raids and all that shit. So good content. So how do you want to start off? Do you want to talk about the slots first?
Good question. What do you have thoughts there? I have gone to the effort of opening up new tabs with each of the slots singled out to make it easier.
So a couple things I will say about the slots is there are different typings available on each one, but you have to be very careful. Like slot 1 is ice and water, right? But like you should not be picking a water type there unless it's a dual type with ice and water.
Why is that?
Because if you don't select an ice type there, you have very limited options. Like, sure, you could pick like Articuno, which is like a flying ice type in your 4th slot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you could pick a Frostlass, which is a ghost ice type, in your 3rd slot. But other than that, like your ice is very limited.
It's
You know what I'm
weird
saying?
that Frostlass is banned in slot 1, but you can pick it in slot 3 as your ghost type.
They probably just don't want you picking 2 ghosts. That's why. Because
Maybe?
there's no dark types.
Are there
And,
really
like,
ghosts?
yeah, of course. Coffagrigus is like freaking so good. Jellicent is also banned in slot 1. So they don't want you picking any of those.
They don't want you going double ghost.
Doubling up, right? Like double fighter, double dragon, double, like they don't want you doubling up on that stuff.
You can still go like Coffagrigus and Gengar or something. Because like slot 5 there.
Slot 5 you need.
It has poison types.
Ghost is banned though.
Ghost is banned, yeah, cool. That makes sense.
So you can't actually. They're very smart about it.
Yeah.
Like my initial take is like slot number 3, you should take a ghost, 100%.
Here we go.
Because ghost is so good.
Drifblim. You could have Coffagrigus Drifblim.
Oh, it's Ember technically, like the fire Ember, like but it was actually yesterday White Chocolate. So you can either check I think Fish posted a Ember and 5-minute YouTube video. Or you can go back and watch the VOD if you want to like crack a bottle of rosé and just, have a good time.
I will pop the link to that in the chat. Pokemon news stream. Wow, we've had a lot of content in the last couple of days. Here it is.
Yeah, because I think DarkIcee was streaming, right?
Yes, she was.
So yeah, my first take is like there's 3 things that I'm leaning towards. Number 1, make sure your first slot has ice type somehow. Could be dual typing, could be whatever you want. Slot 3, make sure it's a ghost type. You need a ghost on your team. It's too good. Slot 4, I think you need a dragon. Like you need a dragon as well. So I know there's like dual options there, but I really am leaning towards like those types of things just because of the way the meta is shaking out. Because like if you want a flying type, you can pick it in the last little bit, right? But where else are you getting a dragon? Where else are you going to get a dragon type, right? Like,
let's see. Are there any dragons that aren't solo dragon or also flying?
Flygon you could pick technically. It's a ground dragon. I mean, like
Dragalge.
Dragalge is a poison dragon, so you can pick it in the 3rd slot. But again, I think Ghost is too good to give up. I like Dragalge a lot. I'm not gonna lie, but I think it's better picked in the 4th slot. But again, these are decisions you're gonna have to make. It's gonna be very interesting.
So
to see how this meta goes.
You're saying that when anyone building their Vanguard team, they've got to start with picking their ghost and then kind of expand from there.
I just been starting with the 1st slot. Okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can change things either way, but we can start with the 1st slot and go from there. Because again, like let's assume we're gonna pick some sort of ice type from the 1st slot.
Well, this is slot 1.
So Walrein looks decent. Not sure about Dugong. I would probably lean towards Celio because like Celio has the added benefit of being able to beat Walrein.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Because of the body slam. Yeah. Only issue with Celio is you can start running into issues with the ghost types because of the body slam.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like your give and take, right?
And you can't have double water ice because that slot 5 has the ice ban.
No, you can only have one. Basically, you only get one water ice type. If you want that specific typing, you can put ice in there on other parts of your team. Like I said, flying, you could technically put like Articuno, right? It's a flying ice type.
Yeah.
It's eligible, but I don't know how good it will be.
Amora would probably
they banned Auroras, right?
Yes.
After the move update, because
Yes.
Meteor Beam looked too good.
Hey, Dom.
Yo, Doms, what's good, man? Amara is good, but it's like an XL Pokemon, right? So you need a lot of resources to build it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I don't think a lot of people have Amura XLs because it was only spawning very seldomly, right?
Just theoretically, if you could build one, that's probably a good one to take on the ice types and the flyers.
Yeah, but you can. The good thing about Amora is you could take that in slot 2, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a rock type.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ones where, yeah, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of counter users in this meta. So I definitely think Amora does look pretty decent. I have a pretty decent one. I have a rank like. This one's a rank like 40 for Great League. Oh, and that's another one too. If you're doing lucky trades with people, you can ask for Amora because the IV spread for Great League is like basically almost like a lucky IVs. So
Okay.
you could get a pretty good one from a lucky trade if you were. Yeah, I have 37 XLs for this thing.
Well, the rank one's 11, 15, 15. So
Right, so like if you have a 12, 15,
almost,
15,
yeah,
it's
almost as good.
Probably good enough. This one that I have requires it requires 256 XL candy, and it's a what is that? A 13, 14, 15. So
would you consider running it?
I mean, if I had the XLs, maybe,
If you had
but
the XLs, yeah.
I have 34, so like, it's not even. I'm not even close.
Come on,
like
Lyle.
I said, it's barely been spawning, right?
Yeah, no, it's a rare Pokemon. I mean, if you've got the XLs for it, good on you. You'd have to do a lot of in-person raids to get those rare candy XLs.
So I have 37 XLs. How many have I caught? I've seen 55 of these, and I've caught 54. So, like, even if you have like a Mega Level 3 going, like, it's not the quantity amount. Like, I think it was in eggs, so possibly people that like hatched a shit ton of eggs, and then I know people that have been walking them too. So, like, it's not saying that it's impossible to have. It's just something you would have had to prioritize probably before this meta was announced, right?
I'm getting a sense that this is a pretty wide meta. Like having 74 Pokemon above that 82 line, which I've talked about before, is like my line of relevance.
It is pretty wide. Again, some of the bands really make it like so there's nothing like too overpowering, but
okay, so
aside,
what about okay, so what are of the rock types? Like, if you're saying you've got to pick like an ice type in slot 1, then would you look at the rock types as being the best things to counter those, or maybe a fighter?
yeah. Right now, I've been using a decent amount of Poliwrath, Shadow Poliwrath specifically, because it does have Ice Punch and Dynamic Punch.
Right.
So, and then if the rest of your team's a little weak to like Walrein or Celio or something, you really can, or even Aurorus, like you have a really strong answer to that because you're resisting the Ice fast moves and their lower energy Ice move, right?
Now,
I know it's
Shadow
a little bit
Poliwrath
lower
is ranked
rank.
quite low there.
It's targeted, I think. It's a targeted pick, right? So it's meant to like round out your team and help you fight off certain specific Pokemon, right? Like if you look at the things it beats, like those are all like top 10 picks, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it does really poorly against the ghost types and the flyers, but even like Dragonair is very close. So
And like it wouldn't get like walled by them. If you build up a couple of skulls or something. Oh wait, no, what you're not running skull, right? You're running dynamic punch, ice punch.
It's better against the ghost with skull.
Yeah.
Other than Jellicent, but Jellicent just walls it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I still think it's a good, at least bench pressure against like Regirock, Walrein, like those types of things, because like Noctowl is gonna be pretty common, right? So Noctowl's biggest, like, I think like the Noctowl Poliwrath core is like they cover each other very well, is what I'm saying, right? What does it lose to? What does it beat? Rock and ice types. What does Noctowl beat? Ghost and grass, right? Like the only thing that bridges that is electric types, which are not going to be as common, I don't think. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back.
Alright. I'm going to put in the Noctowl Shadow Poliwrath core and see what actually does beat that.
Can I get you anything?
Yeah, a glass of water, thanks. Oh, I mean, it looks like there's a lot that can... Wait, did I... Yeah, I put in Vanguard.
That's what I said, electric.
Pidgeot can beat
Charizard?
both.
I mean, Pidgeot, sure, but it's not like... It's like those aren't dominant, right? The dominant wins are the electrics. Like Zapdos, basically.
Yeah, sure. Machamp.
Everything else is like... Everything else is sort of like flippable depending on... Do you have the new move updates?
Yeah.
Everything else is kind of close, I think.
Grimer?
Ho-Oh? Like, these are things... I don't know. I don't think you're going to see too much of this stuff, but... I mean, it's just based on my initial testing. I think it looks not bad.
Staravia.
Yo, Palm and... Honestly, I would expect a Staravia over Archeops. Staravia has quick attack, and it's, like, pretty bulky.
Does it?
Yeah. You need a hundo though.
Okay, sure.
Because it's one of those ones. I have a hundo purified one, so I could run a return aerial ace Staravia or return Brave Bird.
I happen to have a legacy wing attack Pidgeot.
I mean, Elite Fastiam to like a dime a dozen, I would...
Yeah.
I'll probably just end up building a second Pidgeot at some point this season.
I was gonna say, it's also a lucky, so, like, it's 15, 15, 12. I'm probably gonna just build that for Master League, not Master League, Ultra League.
Yeah, I have another one that's pretty good. I already have one for Great League built with Gust, right?
Uh-huh.
But I can build another one for Great League with Wing Attack. Only problem with Pidgeot is it doesn't have any coverage.
No.
Which is why Noctowl is a little more safe, because like if you get paired up against like a Regirock or something, you're just like you're SOL, right? You have nothing to hit it with.
Speaking of Regirock, I'm liking it. Like, because of all the popularity of the Ice types and the popularity of Noctowl, I did see one of those green BV tweets, which like such good data collection. But yeah, Noctowl was just like above everything else being used in the.
There's two. Actually, I really like both Regis.
Both the Regice as well.
I've been using Regice a little bit recently, and it's friggin' really good. Like if they don't have they need a rock type to be able to deal with the Regice. If they don't have that, like
the fighters, what about?
I mean,
the fighters?
fighter is not like common. Like what fighter are there? Because you meet so much flying and ghost types.
Gallade.
Gallade, okay.
Is an interesting thought.
It's an interesting one, but it's not like a real typical fighter, right? It doesn't have counter.
Yeah.
You're relying on your charge moves,
yeah.
So.
You got your Shadow Champ. You got your Shadow Poliwrath. And then it drops off a lot.
I mean, for Poliwrath, you have Thunder, right? So I feel like a Thunder would.
Yeah.
Even like a Gallade, if you land like a Blizzard or something on a Gallade, oof. feel like that would do a crap.
So what? Blizzard's 65 energy.
Blizzard is 75.
75. Far out. Okay, so it takes you.
Thunder is 60.
60.
So Thunder takes you 12 lock-ons or 6. Well, 12 turns total.
Yeah.
Blizzard takes you 15. It's the same as Focus Blast for Registeel. So it's about 7 and. So the way I count it, it's like 6 and 7.5. That's the way I like to look at it. But I know some people prefer to count in
turns.
In turns, but I prefer to count in 2 turns because I think it makes it a little easier on me.
Sure.
So yeah.
But it also means it outpaces the Gallade by 1 turn. Or half a second.
Yeah, it gets there quick.
Mm-hmm.
Thunder, because like I haven't used Regice much. Like I did use it a little bit in what was the meta last what was the one with like Dragonair and all that shit? I forget what the name of it is.
The last Silph meta.
Yeah, last factions.
The Primeval.
Yeah, Primeval. So I use Regice a little bit in Primeval. It's comparable with Regirock in terms of speed because of the 60 energy Thunder. Like I know Regirock has 55, so technically what gets there in 11 turns, which is ridiculous. But it gets to a Stone Edge faster than a Dragonite gets to a Dragon Claw. Okay, good to know.
I do like the thought of Dragonair as well, because I know there's something like that's disgusting. I know that something like a Frostlass Dragonair can beat it in the ones. I believe that is Shadow and regular.
That's the only problem with Regirock and Regice is that like things with like fast move pressure, heavy fast move pressure, and shields really can, even Registeel. That's its big issue, right? Like it can lose to Altaria in Great League, right? And why is that? Because they have shields and they have fast move pressure, even though it's resisted. So obviously, like a Shadow Dragonair, like I did a practice battle with Miami Doc before we came on air. That's why I was like a second or 2 behind. And like I like Regice a lot versus team, but I was like, okay, if I pair it up with the Dragonair, just hope that it's not with shields up. Like at least 1 shield down, right?
And then, like, what is there in the ice and water slot that really Dragonair can't handle? Probably the Wall Rain, and to a lesser extent the Celio, like that. But, and Dugong. But like everything else, Mora. But
Frostlass it technically beats, but you got to be careful with your timing, because if Niantic F's you and you like get a pause or a frame drop or something, then they sneak in a Powder Snow, then they can all of a sudden outpace you. So. And
I don't know how common Frostlass is going to be, because you can only pick it in the Ghost Poison slot. And are you going to use that on your Frostlass, or are you going to use it on like a Coffagrigus?
I mean, I think it could be pretty good too. Like, Frostlass is one of those things that's like so good always, right? So.
It is.
If you look at the other typings, it's like Dragon, Flying, Ground, Ice. It can hit back against ice types. Personally, I think Coffin is the best one, but that's just...
Or also Jellicent, because like Jellicent's gonna beat pretty much all your ices and waters, right?
I mean, like the good thing about Coffin is like at least you have some play against Noctowl. Like Jellicent in the Noctowl is just like you're done, What are you gonna do?
I mean, a couple of ice beams.
They're recommending Bubble Beam, but I guess if you are running Ice Beam, it's better for you. But yeah, fair enough. I do still like your Jellicent, but Frostlass is a decent option too. But it just doesn't have that same dominance over the ices and waters, and in exchange, I guess and it does get walled by a Jellicent. But then in exchange, you get a bit better matchup against Noctowl specifically. Yeah. No, I think any of the ghosts are a good option. And remember, Golbat's also getting a buff, right? So
I was gonna say, like, would you be able to make a case for a Golbat over one of those 3 ghosts at the top?
I mean, you can take Golbat in the final slots if you want, right? If you really want to take a Golbat, because poison and flying are both allowed there. So I would say if you want to take it there and stick with a ghost here, because it's going to be very difficult to get a ghost in, like unless you want to get like a Driftblim or something. It's going to be hard to get a ghost in anywhere else on the roster, right?
So then let's take a look at that final slot. This is just like I mean, could you conceptualize it as just like a catch-all kind of whatever you couldn't fit into the first 4 slots? You've got the second opportunity.
I think this is wrong because it's showing Dragonair there. So
why did that? You know why? Yeah, I put in the wrong types here. I went not rock.
Oh, rock is allowed.
Yeah, there we go. Alright, so yeah, is that how you would look at it? Just like this slot is for anything you couldn't fit in the first 4, or would you actually like target it as, you know, this is what I want to use my 5th slot for?
It's tough to say. I think you can just use it to round out your team. But I personally think you're gonna want to have Noctowl on your team, or Pidgeot, I guess, if you want. You're gonna want a normal type somewhere, and those are the really only 2 top meta normal types in my opinion. So I don't think Bibarel looks very good.
I'm thinking like something like a Shadow Swampert. Like, could you save slot 1 or 2 for one of the other picks, and then save the Shadow Swampert for slot 5?
I mean, you have 2 picks here, right? So one of them can be like Noctowl or Pidgeot. The other could be like Swampert if you want. If you think you're very weak to... Seeing Shield on rating again? What is going on here?
Buddy!
This is like deja vu or something. Yeah, I think you definitely can like balance out your team in the final slot, but I think you need to be careful because you do have the flying and stuff. You know, you do want to make sure you have some coverage against the rock types and the ice types. So actually, Wildcat was running something which is interesting. He was running yo, what's up, Chumpaletta? How's it going?
Hey, Chump.
He was running Quagsire over Swampert.
Did he explain why?
I think that the coverage moves on Quagsire is like super interesting because like whereas Swampert would struggle against like some of the other ice water types, right?
And a
you have to land Earthquake. A Jellicent as well.
Yeah.
Quagsire has a thing where it's like it has Stone Edge for the flying types.
Yeah.
And the ice types. And you have Earthquake for the rock types and stuff. And like not sure how common grass will be. Obviously like Shadow Vic and everything are eligible. And Quagsire is ranked pretty low, but I don't know. I think it's kind of doesn't sim amazing because of the clunkiness of it. Because it does take a little bit to get the charge moves. Like, you know, you have it losing to Pidgeot and Noctowl, which it probably does, let's say. But you have play against them, right? You can probably get a shield out of that. Like, there's no way it loses a 0 shield to Noctowl. 0% chance it loses a 0 shield. So, you know, you're gonna at least get a shield advantage out of that matchup, right? So I think it's a very interesting pick that's a little bit lower ranked. And again, what we were talking about before is like the meta is so diverse. You might think like, 74, right?
Yeah. What about your water flyers? Like, for a start, how popular do you think they'll be? The Mantine and Pelipper, and secondly, like, how did they do against a Quagsire?
They do okay. Like Mudshot, obviously. You don't have any fast move pressure, but Stone Edge claps. But Pelipper can survive a Stone Edge.
Just.
It's always a tease, yeah. It's one of the... I don't like it a ton, but I also don't like going against it, you know? It's one of those Pokemon.
You're far out. That is not pretty.
Yeah, it's because I guess the wing attack buff helps it. I don't know.
I would say so, yeah.
Previously, when I wanted to like attack flying types with Quagsire, I was using the Shadow Quagsire because it had one-shot potential.
Well, that's much better against Mantine. It's winning all the even shields against Mantine.
Yeah, Mantine is kind of like a little... how about Shadow Quagsire? I just want to see. Because you would definitely win the 0 shield with Shadow Quagsire.
You do.
Again, they outpace you with the Pelipper, right?
So, like, so much. That is assuming a bait as well.
I mean, is Weather Ball really a bait? Like, it's neutral. They could probably just go straight Weather Ball.
Okay, so...
if they go straight Weather Ball, you get to two
Mantine
is
Stone
shit,
Edges.
though. I mean, I think it's...
don't think so.
Oh my god, there's a wild Meganium in my house.
Hey, let's go.
I think it's a play style thing. Like, Mantine is one of those things where it's just like so bulky and you have the debuff potential. So you can kind of like flip certain matchups. Also, like, if Noctowl is going to be so popular, like with the Ice Beam is kind of nice coverage too, but...
I think
I think the normal typing is too good. You need normal typing somewhere. Yeah. And if you start putting too many flyers on your team, it's just going to be an issue.
Start struggling against like your rocks. Is there how much electric is there?
Not a ton, but like there's enough that you would not want to have too many flying types, right?
And if you're running Regice, you're running Thunder Blizzard, right?
Yeah, I'm running Thunder Blizzard on my Regice. Because Thunder is like, it's a nice low energy move. Plus, there's a lot of water types, right? Another electric type that I've kind of liked is Stunfisk. Because that one's eligible in the final slots, final 2 slots. And that destroys like all other electric types, right? And even though it's weak to water, you can hit back against the waters. So I think it's not bad. It's bulky.
It is.
For the record, 3 Mud Bombs do not KO Quagsire.
Good to know. Is that with Thundershock or Mudshot?
That's with Mudshot.
Wow.
I battled Wildcat earlier today, and like, it was like, okay, I'm like this. I'm in trouble here. Shields are down, and he had a Quagsire at a Stunfisk, and like I ended up catching an Earthquake on my Poliwrath, and then I still lost because he got to another Earthquake before I could KO it. So, I mean, there's pros and cons to the Stunfisk, that's for sure.
So, what have we established so far? You want to focus on a ghost for slot 3. You probably need Noctowl for one of your slot 5 picks.
Yeah, unless you want to use it in slot 4, but I think taking Noctowl in slot 4 is just wasting a dragon slot.
I was gonna say, so, like, I would probably go with Dragonair for that slot.
I mean, Dragonair, I'm leaning towards either Dragonair or Dragalge.
Yeah.
Dragalge is like a little bulkier than Dragonair, slightly bulkier, and I don't know. I don't really have. I mean, you do have the poison subtyping, which helps you in certain matchups and hurts you in other matchups. So I don't know.
I'm just really trying to look at everything else here. I don't know really how much difference that poison subtyping is going to make. Like, yeah, it makes you one-shottable by a Swampert with Earthquake, but like, a Dragonair is not going to want to get hit by an Earthquake either, especially from Shadow Swampert.
No.
So, well, yeah. What
and Outrage is just like, Outrage is like a lot nicer than it's a lot better than like a Body Slam. You know, if you want to like force a shield or like, or do like like flip a matchup, right?
You know what? I think it's time to get out the Moveset Explorer again. Because I want to see, like, how much damage Dragonair is doing per cycle with Body Slam Dragon Breath. As opposed to the Dragon Tail Outrage.
Okay. You say so. Outrage hits hard, dude. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, it's not as good on a DPE basis as what you want it to be.
All I know is that if that wall run doesn't shield the Outrage, it's going down.
I'm not gonna put my career on the line for this one. I'm just testing it out.
Are we doing Shadow Dragonair or regular Dragonair? Blastburn?
What? No, Body Slam.
Obstruct? It doesn't get stabbed on Body Slam.
Alright, give me a sec. So, 9.05 damage per turn. Versus... Dragon Tail. And... a lot more.
What'd I say?
Yep, you called it.
Outrage, man, I'm telling you, Outrage. Like, I outraged some things, and you're like, see you later, dude.
Yeah, but then, like... So, I'm still liking Body Slam because...
There's, like, no fairies or steals in the meta. What resists Outrage? You nuke everything.
Because if they do shield the Outrage, then suddenly you're in a bad spot. Whereas with Body Slam, you just keep on chipping. They don't shield the first one. They don't want to shield the second one. Then suddenly they're like, oh wait, my health is a lot lower than I'm comfortable with.
Unless they don't have any shields in the first place.
Sure. So shields down, I mean, you're happy for the Outrage.
Shields down, Outrage. It's a bait potential, and also you're more likely to flip a matchup, right? So, and I have a personal preference. I really like Dragalge. I have a rank 2 built for Great League. I caught it like the first day it was released in the wild, and I really like Dragalge. So, it's a personal preference thing.
Sure. Cool. What else?
Also, Razor Leafers might be a thing in this meta.
Oh, really?
So what's better than a dragon? A poison dragon.
Whoops, Zaz. Shadow Gloom, the top rated one. Tropius, but you'd probably want Air Slash, right?
Yeah, you probably want Air Slash. But look, Victory Bell's ranked 38, right? Like, or 36, I can't tell with your freaking... It's, but I'm saying, like, like, I know some people that did some practice tournaments and stuff, and they were a little pissed off with the amount of Razor Leafers that they went up against, so... Maybe that's just a degen thing that they're playing, but, I mean, it's better to have some answer to it, just in case, right? You don't want to get run over by
Look
one
at
just in
this.
case. I know, it beats Walrun and Frostlock. It beats a lot of things, man.
That's I'm interested now.
I'm pretty sure Shadow Vic beats Coffin too.
No,
it's very close.
Just
very
loses.
Close.
Yeah, but that's pretty crazy.
Like, could be IDV dependent, but yeah, it's insane.
You're obviously worried about the Noctowl / Pidgeot. Could you run both Noctowl and Pidgeot?
Yeah, you could technically. Not sure it's...
Should you?
Like, you kind of want to balance out your team, right? So I'm not sure if it's advisable, but I mean, depending on where your opponent's running, they could be in a bad spot.
I feel like
they could also be in a good spot.
Everyone's gonna have some kind of flying counter.
Exactly. So do you want to have two flyers? You're never going to have them on the same team. They do very similar things. Like, you go up against someone that has a Walrein Frost Toss, like, what are you going to do?
Well, the
That's
point of bringing two Pokemon that fill the same role is to AVP, right? So
I mean, sure, but you can bring like a, you could bring like a Pelipper, and like try to bait out the anti-flyer with a Pelipper.
yeah.
Right? And then you're at least doing, at least if they have like a wall run or something, it's, or like even before I was using Gyarados a little bit, which it's very low ranked, and for some reason they have you running Waterfall, which I think is
Oh, really?
not the correct moveset. I definitely think you want to be running Dragon Breath. But if Noctowl is super common, like the Gyarados Noctowl matchup is not very great. Like I played out the 1-0 with, and this is pre-wing attack buff, and like I wasn't gonna get to. They had like 1 or 2 wing attack energy lead. I wasn't gonna get to 2 Aqua Tails. Like, and a crunch just didn't do enough, and like they get the 2 Sky Attack. A Sky Attack almost like one shots you. So, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Very interesting. But I do like Gyarados quite a bit.
Okay, so let's try building some teams. This is so much harder to talk about than Ember.
Yes. How about you want to try the team that I have built right now?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for
Okay,
it.
so the team I have built right now. We'll do by slots, just so we can make sure everything.
Yep.
Slot 1 is Regice.
Not Regice.
Ribombi.
With Thunder Blizzard.
Regice. Yep. Slot 2 is a ground type or a rock type.
Yep. Okay. Give me clues. I'll see if I can guess.
It is a fighting type.
Okay. Oh, you see a Poliwrath.
It's a Shadow Poliwrath.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Slot
3.
3. I'm boring. It's a
Cofagrigus.
ghost, and it's Cofagrigus because it's just too good, too bulky.
Slot 4.
Slot 4,
your,
Dragon.
Dragalge.
I love my Dragalge. I need to protect against some some degen teams. And then slot 5, or is it 6? Slot 5 is Noctowl and Stunkfist.
Ah, yes, okay. Looks pretty darn good.
I mean, I'm a little weak to Gallade. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to deal with Gallade with this team. But, like, I do have the Coffin and I do have the Noctowl, which both do okay against Gallade. And, like, Stunkfist technically kind of neutral, but they do have Leaf Blade, so that is super effective, right? But you are bulky, so... yeah, this is a team that I've come up with after a couple practice battles and stuff. Make sure you enable shadows, because shadows are eligible.
Yep.
I mean, technically it says that what? Frostlass beats Coffin? I guess?
Yeah.
Sort of?
I wouldn't... Yeah, I'd say Copper is the better one there. Because it's got so much, like, farm potential. Like, you
and in my experience, Dragalge into Frostlass is not that bad for Dragalge.
Yeah.
Like, you can basically 2-shield through it if you want. Or, like, if you land an Aqua Tail, they're, like, they don't have much health going into another matchup, so...
what about the Whiscash matchups?
Yeah, Whiscash could be annoying, but again, I don't mind, like, Poliwrath, Coffin, Noctowl, even Regice is probably fine.
Yeah, you've got plenty of play there, right?
What are they going to do? They're just going to Mud Bomb spam you, right?
Yeah.
Like, you might lose the matchup, but it's not the end of the world. Like, Blizzard will hurt. Lapras, it says Regice loses to Lapras. I don't know. I feel like you at least get shields out of that matchup because you have Thunder, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about Stunkfist. It's like losing some of these matchups, but I think it still has play with the electric ground thing.
It's
mean,
one of those targeted ones.
No team's perfect, but
I want to
definitely
see
think there's some play.
How these change if we're running Shadow Dragonair.
Well, that will help you against Frostlass, according to the Sims, right?
And Whiscash, I believe. It's better consistency, which is to be expected. Suddenly, your Shadow Lapra's the highest, the biggest threat.
Yeah, that's why I have Poliwrath on the team. It's specifically as like a deterrent against some of these like ice water types, right?
Mm.
And I know it doesn't, like, people say it doesn't sim as high or whatever, but it's like very targeted for the team to like try to balance it out some of the weaknesses that I have, right? So Shadow Charizard looks pretty good apparently. Not sure how common that's gonna be. And again, I feel like I'd be pretty comfortable with the Coffin or even the Dragonair matchup with the Charizard. I guess they do have. How quickly do they get a Dragon Claw these days?
Well, with Wing Attack, with new Wing Attack, it'd be 5, 4, 5.
It's 35 energy, right?
8, 16, 24, 30.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, that's fast. Fast. 5, 4, 5. Okay, interesting. I mean, I hope I don't see too many Charizards, but...
I mean, how comfortable is the meta for Charizard?
That's a very close matchup. Holy shit. That's very IV dependent, I would say. That's what PV Poke says, like, it beats it, right? But it's just like, look at it has what, 2 HP?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about that.
You'd need, I mean, but this is a rank 500. I would assume people.
Maybe you lose a like Wing Attack Breakpoint. I don't know. Yeah. Simmer rank 1. I have a rank 2, I think. So you can simmer rank 1 just in case I wanted to build it.
Yeah, no difference.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean that's pretty good for Charizard. I feel though. Rank 39. You can only use it. You can only use it in the 4th or 5th slot.
Yeah, which a flyer in that slot is probably not the worst idea. The thing is, like, you know, like Regirock or any of that stuff, like, is a big issue.
It is, yeah. And like that's another flyer for your team.
Yeah, it's another flyer. You still would not do amazing probably against like the Walrein, Celio combos. Heaven forbid your opponent has like a Swampert or something. So there is reasons to run these things, but it just depends on how the meta shakes out and how, like, you know, used they are. So no.
Okay,
At least that's my first take.
Yeah, sure. So I'm actually gonna screenshot that. Let's start from scratch. Let's try building another team. We've got let's start with like Regirock.
Yeah, you can take Regirock slot 2 or you can take it in slot 5, right? It's 5 or 6.
Well, let's just assume we're taking it in slot 2 for now. Well, I mean, we'll see how it shakes out. So obviously you're worried about your waters, your fighters, your grasses.
Grasses, yeah.
Now this has always been a really nice core, Regirock Tropius. But
has it been?
Yeah. Ever since there was one cup where it was just like a broken core, and then since then, like every time it's been eligible, I've been like, hey, these two go really, really well together. B for coverage, that's better than your stupid Noctowl Shadow Poliwrath core.
I mean, the teamwork looked pretty good. It got an A for coverage, so sometimes you just got to round it out with a couple more picks, you know?
Yeah, that Noctowl Shadow Poliwrath core had like a D for coverage.
What I'm saying, you round out the team.
You round it. Okay, so you get it, so you make it good by putting good stuff around it.
Yeah, you analyze your opponent. Like when I battled Miami Doc, I ran Dragalge, Regice every game. Then I just switched up to third. One game I ran Polyrath, one game I ran Coffin. Fine. Dragonair, yeah, Dragonair, again, it's one of those things, it's just the Dragon Breath damage, right? Atropius having Aerial Ace, this is like pretty trash. See, Dragalge beats both too, perfect. And Dragalge's bulky. Blastoise, interesting. I mean, not sure about Blastoise, but could be interesting. Nidoqueen, I don't think is good. Don't use Nidoqueen.
No, yeah, I don't think so.
It's like I had someone, because one of my factions mate was talking about like Shadow Nidoqueen earlier, like last week, and I just said like I just think with the typings like ground, ice, water, like even grass running around, like I don't think it's a great typing combo to have. I think ground is probably the worst of the typings that's eligible in this meta, but it has some utility as well, so you're still kind of weak to grass, though.
Yeah,
but...
yeah.
And dragons.
Yeah. It's just, Tropius Red Rock, great core, but then, like...
It's kind of PS core.
It's another freaking flyer.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're taking up either the 4th or one of your 5th slots.
Exactly.
Relicanth. Hoenn Tour, here we come.
Yeah, coming up. I can't wait to get my hand on a Relicanth.
On a PvP Relicanth,
yeah. I'm not a PvP Relicanth. A fucking Relicanth.
Oh, I've got a Relicanth.
I wish I did. It's pretty bulky. Like, I think that thing used to be decent for... I mean, like, Walrun does look pretty strong.
I mean, fighters, though.
Yeah.
Shadow Swampert?
Yeah, also still... grass type. You don't lose. You don't beat Victory Bell with Walrun because they get to. You don't get the 2 Icicle Spears really. I don't. Wait, do you? Maybe. No, I don't think you do.
You got a cold, or?
Oh, just a bit of a runny nose right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not really fun. The only good core I'm able to find with Red Rock is the Tropius.
Okay.
Alright, what about let's try Copper Gregus. What's a good core with Copper Gregus?
I mean, you need something that beats Noctowl, right?
Regirock.
I think like I would probably lean towards. I was thinking more Walrun, but
I'll sim that next. Yeah, let's see for coverage. We got Swampert, Dragonair, Vileplume.
Okay, so Coffin is one of those Pokemon where it doesn't necessarily like dominate a bunch of matchups, but it like does really well. It holds its own.
Yeah.
In a lot of matchups, right?
Was that Regirock or Dragonair? You said.
No, I'm saying Coffin.
Oh, Coffin. Yeah.
So it's like. It's not like it's not exactly like, oh, this Pokemon like beats everything, right? But it's like, oh shit, that Pokemon's scary because like with energy and like shields, it can beat my whole team. You know? It doesn't have like really bad matchups other than the normal types.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this core here, like Walrein's the same. Like it has no real bad very few real bad matchups. And like all of these losses that it's got. Like, none of them are hard losses. So you've got play against literally all of these things.
Regice beats Coffin pretty consistently from the practice
Is that
battles
right?
I've done. So,
Okay.
yeah, it because it outpaces it to the Thunder, and Regice is so bulky, like basically 2 Thunder is KO. So even in the 2 shields or the 0 shields, you beat Coffin basically.
How much does a Shadow Ball do to a Regice?
Probably like 60%. I think you would need to. I think it's probably better to go Dark Pulse. I think you need 2 moves.
Well, I was gonna say, could you like 1 shield farm down?
You can double shield farm down.
Okay.
If you land a Shadow Ball.
Yeah, right. Wow. Because it gets
But,
to
I
3
wouldn't have-
before you can get to 2 Shadow Balls.
Yeah, it gets there fast because it's 7, or it's a 6 Shadow Claws, right? So if you go straight
The 7 Shadow
Dark
Claws.
Pulse,
Oh,
it's
for 2
7.
Dark Claws, you mean?
It's 7, 6, 7, right?
Mhm.
I believe. So that's 14, 20 turns, and then you only need how many? Wait, is it? No, not 20 turns. It's 20 Shadow Claws. So it's
Yeah. So 40 turns. As opposed to 36 for 3 Thunders.
Right. So it outpaces you quite a bit. Even like if you get like a Shadow Claw or 2 lead on a swap in, it's pretty safe counter swap into the Coffin.
Nevertheless, I'm still pretty okay with this core.
Yeah, this looks like pretty meta core.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
So then what would you add to that? You'd need to make sure you can beat Regice with your 3rd Pokemon. So Regirock, I guess, might be a good way to go.
You could try Glade. I don't know how well that does there.
Nah, didn't we establish that Galade's not that great against your... What's it called? Regice?
I didn't agree with that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you specifically said...
I was coping. I don't know. I
Because
haven't looked at
Regice
the matchup.
outpaces the Thunder to the close combat.
I was coping. I mean, I feel like if they bait you with a Leaf Blade, it's gonna be really bad.
Yeah. That's when that flips.
I mean, I was just preaching that Regice could do okay against Glade because my team was a little weak to Glade, so I was trying to figure out how to beat it. Mainly.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with Shadow Dragonair now.
Shadow Dragonite?
No. No Shadow Dragonite. This is just all ice and Noctowl, apparently.
What?
This
Shadow
is
Dragonair?
Things that beat Shadow Dragonair.
I mean,
Naturally, it's all ice.
Noctowl does some silly things.
Golbat?
I mean, you pace at the same time now, right? So, it's basically like Noctowl survives a body slam, no fucking problem.
Yeah.
And Dragonair really doesn't want to take a sky attack. So, right? You probably still win the 2 shield, but yeah.
Hey, that's alright. Dragonair Jellicent. B for coverage. Oh, but then freaking Noctowl.
Like I said, if Noctowl is your weakness with Dragonair, I don't think it's that big a deal. Like those are not exactly dominating matchups for Noctowl, right? And if you want to get crazy and run Dragon Pulse, and if they don't shield that thing, you're looking pretty good.
That would be pretty crazy, though.
I mean, I've seen it done before.
What, since the Body Slam buff? Or since the Body Slam edition?
Yeah,
Interesting. Jellicent suddenly a lot worse running Ice Beam over Bubble Beam.
it's a bait thing, man.
Mm.
Its problem is Hex is slow,
No,
so you
Hex
get
is slow.
outpaced by things. It's relatively slow compared to like the faster moves. It's 3 turns, and it's not like a insane energy generation. It's good, but it's not like busted energy generation.
Mm.
So like Frostlass or Jellicent actually loses to Frostlass without Bubble Beam.
Okay.
You need to be able to bait
Yeah.
to outpace the front, like things like that, right? So if you don't have that outpacing ability, it's not quite as good.
Dragonair Shadow Gloom would hate Noctowl as well. Yeah, no, that's bad. Never mind.
I would also hate Articuno. I mean, I already give you like the good teams, but you know, if you want to try to,
Well, I mean, there is more than one good team. We don't.
I don't know.
I
If
mean,
you ask me.
how would you feel if genuine question? How would you feel if like literally everyone started using the same team you just put out? Just then.
Yeah, I would just RPS them with a slightly different team. I would just run Shadow Swampert and Gallade Core.
You're doing Vanguard, right?
No, I'm doing Open.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
Open
right.
Great
Yeah,
League.
you said that. Yep. Okay. Like, I don't know how many people are watching right now. If anyone is watching and feels like there are still some unanswered questions, let us know. Otherwise, I feel like we've pretty much covered everything we can.
Can we go back to the rankings?
Yes, we
Just
can.
look at some of the picks. It's gonna be very lineup dependent, right?
We haven't talked about Dugong much.
Yeah, it's just that I think the coverage on Dugong is the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
If
Well,
you
I
get-
mean, it's always had that problem, but like,
But
it
before
finds
there
a
wasn't
way.
like Walrein and stuff. Like, I mean, if it's long as it's not lined up against other ice types, it's probably good.
Mm.
Or water types. But
Shadow
I
Zapdos.
mean mainly
like-
ice. Water types it can still handle because like you're debuffing it and it's
Yeah.
only single resisted. But like if you start running into like Walreins and like
Yeah.
all the water ice
ices,
types,
Yeah.
that's when it starts getting really tough because it's relying a lot on the ice shard damage too, right? So
Yep. Swoobat.
Swoobat looks kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like it will destroy all the. Again, though, the problem like we're getting into is so many good flying types, right?
Yeah.
So you can only have so many flying types on your team. This is a flying type that will lose to your ghosts mainly,
Yeah.
and also, but it does really well against your poisons. So and your
so does
fighters,
Noctowl. Like,
right?
yeah, it'd be hard to run Swoobat in a meta where Noctowl,
I mean,
reigns supreme.
The confusion Psychic Fangs is interesting. Like,
is.
you know,
Like, if fighting was more popular, then Swoobat would be, like,
I just feel like
very
fighting's
tempting.
not going to be that popular.
Yeah,
it
that's
seems
what
like
I'm saying.
kind of a hostile meta to fighting. Even the top fighters aren't exactly counter users. Swampert, like we didn't talk about a ton. It's always there because it's so good. Again, the ground typing is interesting because if like Regice starts becoming like popular and things like that, then Swampert has like really good matchup there. So
And
I was considering running Shadow Swampert for a little bit.
Yeah.
But like with Noctowl and the Dragon, it's like I just felt the team was like too weak to like Walrein and that type of thing. So that's why I went away from because like I feel like let's say Dragonair plus Noctowl, if you want to run that, then you add like a Swampert in, it's just makes it kind of difficult to deal with. Like if they have like a Shadow Walrus, you're kind of in a tight spot. You're going to be very predictable with your lineups unless you want to take like a big gamble, right?
So then, what could you pair with Swampert if you were going to run it? It's got to be able to handle, obviously, grasses, dragons, and Walrein.
Yeah, I think maybe one of the water flyers would be a little better with it. Like a Mantine or a Gyarados even, something like that, where it has a little bit more neutral play against some of the other ice types. So, and obviously doesn't do...
Gyarados would be best against the dragons, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. It does better against the dragons. I mean, you still struggle a bit against the grass types, but you can round out your team with the rest of that, and like at least it's a neutral-ish against the grass, right? But so, yeah.
All right, what else is there? We've got. We did talk a little bit about Whiscash.
It looks decent.
Yeah, it's got that
usual.
Blizzard against the Noctowl.
So the Noctowl matchup is super awkward though.
Yeah, it is.
Because like you need 2 Blizzards to KO. Like you
two
that
Blizzards,
Mud
or
Bomb.
can you hit them with a Blizzard and then get them into like Mud Bomb range?
You can Blizzard plus Mud Bomb plus double shield farm down. That's about it.
Twitch is chucking a shit fit, by the way. How so?
Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna get on Twitch just in case it's going on here. Yeah, I think. Wait, what were we talking about? I'm so confused.
Whiscash. And the Noctowl matchup.
Yeah, you can if you land a Blizzard and a Mud Bomb, you can double shield Mud Shot down. But like, I don't know. Like if you chip it at all, it's fine. Then the Blizzard will KO, right?
Yeah, sure.
But from full health,
it's
like
tough.
it's nice to have that coverage. It's nice to have that coverage, and like, okay, good to know. If Stunkfist starts becoming popular, and even like things like that, like Dragalge.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like the ground is useful, but there is no steals, so but it's good against like rock types, right?
It is. I'm feeling like it's probably preferable to Quagsire.
It might be, but you do have Quagsire does have Stone Edge.
Quagsire does have Stone Edge.
Which is definitely nice. If I still am leaning towards Stunkfist for ground type, but then again, you don't have that water subtyping, which helps you against ice. But you have electric, right? Yeah, I think Stunkfist's not bad. If I had to, like, I don't think I would go with Diggersby if you're running, because specifically, like, the matchups with, like, any of the ice types is pretty bad. The matchup with Noctowl is really bad. The only thing Diggersby helps you with is, like, some of the ghost types mainly, like, could really help you, and maybe, but even like Dragonair probably does okay against Diggersby, so I don't think you should run Diggersby.
Gengar is into Gengar has, like, its role
Just
has
too
always
classy.
been to, well, its role has always been to get shield advantage of your opponent. Like, it's not there to necessarily win the battles, it's there to give you a shield advantage situation so you can...
I mean, again, there's no dark types.
Yeah.
They're recommending running an only ghost type moveset, which is, like, kind of scary
Bad
considering...
in the Noctowl meta.
I mean, just run Kofagrigas. Like, you have Dark Pulse. You can hit back against things that counter you at least. I mean, I
Yep.
just don't see
Fair
the
enough.
point of it.
Fair enough.
Maybe the poison typing helps you against Razor Leafers, but other than that, Gorgai's super risky. Gengar is Bay. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Tyrant. So interesting coverage: Dragon Tail, Dragon Claw, and Super Power, Ancient Power. So
yeah, it's a Dragon Rock type.
Yeah. So it has something against the ice types, but
So you can technically run. So you could run Double Dragon actually.
You can.
So if you run Tyrant in slot 2, I have a Tyrant built for Great League. Should I? I don't know, but I have one.
You know what? Actually, going down one more, Credilli. Probably actually pretty good against any team that isn't running Walrein or Celio. Like your Ice Waters.
I mean, the Dragonair matchup's not amazing, but again, I don't hate Credilli, but the problem I had with it, even in Primeval, is the Bullet Seed thing.
Yeah.
It can leave you in like really awkward situations sometimes.
Sure.
Where like the Stone Edge or the Grass Knot doesn't quite knock out your opponent, and like you can't really farm down because you have Bullet Seeds, so you need to like throw another charge move, right? So that's the only negative I'd say with it. The positives are it's incredibly bulky and it has a really good move set and very fast energy generation. So
in a situation where like the typing is interesting because like that combination of typing doesn't help you with a lot of defensive matchups, but
you're still taking super effective from ice.
Yeah.
You're still taking super effective. Like I don't think grass rock is like the greatest synergy of typing. It mainly helps with flying and fire, right? Those are the two main things. But like fire doesn't look like it's very common in this meta at all. Charizard looks like the only one that might possibly be brought. And then for flying, like I know, like it's probably decent-ish against that, but I don't know. I don't hate it, but I still think probably Regirock would be better than Credilli. If you're gonna have low fast move pressure, you might as well go all out and just use Lock On, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does have the advantage of like people might be bringing a Swampert as their Regirock counter, or like there are things that people would bring to counter Regirock that Credilli can then hit back while still doing pretty similar things.
That is true. That is true. And you take neutral from grass, so like maybe versus like a Gallade or like even something like that, could help you in certain situations. Crustle, yeah, I've seen some people talk about it. Not exactly sold on it, but Smackdown.
Okay, so I mean, it's gonna be pretty good against your Noctowl. It's gonna beat your Walrein. It's gonna lose hard to a Swampert. Gonna lose hard to a Fighter. I wonder how the Regirock matchup does, because obviously one Stone Edge and it's gone. But like, if
I personally, I don't know why. Like whenever I use Crustle, I always use Fury Cutter. I know they recommend Smackdown, but like, I just feel like Fury Cutter, because if you get stuck versus like a Quagsire or a Swampert or something, you at least have some more flexibility in that matchup. Although it does hurt you against the flying types, I will say.
Yeah.
It makes those flying type matchups much more tricky to deal with. So Registeel, definitely going to lose that. No way it's going to beat Registeel. I mean, the 2-shield is kind of close.
Kind of, yeah. What if you give it like a couple of Fury Cutters lead? Let's go 3 Fury Cutters. it's getting close. Not close enough.
Could be IV dependent, maybe, if you have like a really good Crustle. And like most people have really shitty Regirocks, right?
I don't think having a high IV, because like one Stone Edge, the 85%.
I mean, the lock-ons are resisted, right? They're only doing 1 damage anyways.
They do 1 damage to everything.
But like, you know, maybe that extra, like, you know, Stone Edge does a little bit extra damage, so I don't know. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I don't think having a high rank Crustle will affect
there's
anything.
one way to find out. There's literally one way to find out.
It's okay, so I'm gonna guess there is no, I'm not gonna guess there's literally no change, but it's not gonna flip that matchup.
Crustle.
Oh, there was literally no change.
Okay, what about Smackdown? Does it help it or hurt it versus like this thing?
Okay, so default.
I mean, default is so like shit, man. Like, who uses default?
Well, we wanted to compare it.
And is
the
that
default
with?
the rank
Oh
one.
no, that's with
Smackdown.
one Smackdown
Oh, that's
lead.
12
Or...
energy lead. Hang on.
Yeah, I think there's other things you can use as anti-flyers, like that are more versatile, like Walrein or even Regirock itself or Regice. I think are just more all-around versatile. But I don't hate Crustle. Like, it definitely has some interesting niche play, specifically against like ground types and stuff. It would do a little bit better against like a Stunfisk or something than a Regirock, right? Especially with Fury Cutter.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some niche play for it.
And I'm always in favor of use whatever you like. So if you
use whatever
prefer
you like.
Crustle, just make it work.
If you like RPSing people, then just RPS people. Just make sure you line it up right. That's the key.
Yeah.
If you line it up wrong, you might be in trouble. Core guys, I would not freaking go near any of those grass. Those things scare me too much. I don't know who the hell in their right mind. Like, if someone brings a Trevenant to regionals on this weekend, I will just like concede to them. Like, my God, that is the bravest person I've ever met in my life, dude. Right. After we just had a knockdown spotlight hour, and they just bought wing tech. You're bringing a
and
Trevenant
it's just got so much hype around it.
That's why I don't want to take Venusaur off my regional team, because I just think there's going to be so much juicy matchups for it. Like, people are going to try to counter the flyers, right? Mm-hmm. Like the Swamperts, even the Lanterns, things like that.
I'm thinking like there'll be a big rise in Registeel and Walrein again. So, like, that might make things a bit harder for Venusaur.
Registeel is actually not that bad for Venusaur.
I know.
If you don't get the Zap Cannon debuff, you can kill in 3 frenzies.
Yeah, it's still not favorable though.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's that's Lily Bear, by the way. It's hard to get a great league Regirock. You had to get that's this autistic hot mess in chat.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, I was about to ban that person. Jesus Christ.
Why, for saying that they don't have a Regirock?
No, like they were going on before about a bunch of shit about not being able to see the stream and all that stuff, and I thought like there was something wrong with that person.
No, I believe it. There was something wrong with Twitch. Ban Lily Bear. That's right.
Yeah. I agree. Ban Lily. She doesn't have a Actually, my friend has a this friend that I know. She has a bunch of box legendaries, and so like I've been slowly like trading some to myself because she doesn't play PvP, right?
Yeah.
And you got to take advantage. And then the last Cresselia, I told you about that. The Cresselia I traded, it went lucky. And just, yeah, see ya, Lily. Peace. Peace out. I had the ban hammer out. I had the ban hammer ready. I was gonna, even though I can't even ban on YouTube because I don't have mod permissions there, I was gonna do it.
Oh, thanks for looking out for the channel.
What do we got here? We got Gliscor. We have Relicanth. Seems interesting, actually. Water, Rock. I mean, Ancient Power, Aquatail, like, decent moveset. I don't know. It could be okay. It's
so
super
you're struggling
bulky.
against Dragonair, I guess.
I know, yes. But, like, you're taking neutral Aquatails, non-stab Aquatails, and neutral Dragon Breath. And, like, you're super bulky, and Water Gun does decent damage. Like, look at that matchup with Dragonair.
Walrein, though.
Yeah, because of the Earthquake, right?
Yeah, it's just like, for something that's resisting the Icicle Spears, like, and doing super effective
Walrein just outpaces.
Yeah, I know.
So much.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's, you want your Rock-type Pokemon. You want your Water-type Pokemon with a Rock-type move to be able to beat Walrein.
I mean, look at those things it beats. Noctowl, Pelipper, Regirock, Frostlass, Coffin. Very close matchup with Dragonair. Even a close matchup with Dragalge. Like, what is the shield mode?
Is that only on my side if I turn it on, or is it for everyone in this chat? I don't know. Only one way to find out.
Is that the factions meta? Is that what is he talking about?
I think he's talking about something happening on Twitch, like in mod view.
Or are they a mod?
Yeah, Hayden's a mod.
Oh yeah, the shield mode is the mod mode.
What's the sword then?
I think the sword, the shield, the sword, it's the same thing. I don't know. Let me check. Oh, new shield mode shortcut. Shield mode is a tool to customize and preset powerful safety settings that can be quickly activated to stop hateful and harassing messages from being spammed in your channel.
There you go.
Shortcut below can activate shield mode in one click. You can remove the shortcut in your shield mode settings. Okay, so apparently this is some new settings that Twitch is trying out or something. There you go.
Asked and answered. You see, we're answering everything in this stream, not just what's good for Vanguard. Milotic.
It's okay. It has Dragon Tail, which is nice. I know what's going on. What is this magic? Oh yeah, that's me.
Yep, that's what I sound like.
So literally, ban, please. We gotta ban this person.
My Milotic would have good matchups against Walrein and the Dragons.
I would say, I don't know. Like, I feel like Icicle, Powder Snow, Earthquake. I would prefer that over non-stab, Dragon Tail, and Surf. But I don't know. Maybe that's
yeah, because you can't have Walrein if you're going with Milotic.
Yeah, you can. And again, we already talked about how important it is to get an Ice type, most likely early on. So I think any of the water types that aren't Ice types, unless they're a dual typing, and you can pick it later on, like a Swampert or like a Pelipper or something, then you might probably that was not going to be very popular. Or a Barbarical, you could, technically that is water type, right?
Cross Chop Stone Edge, or
you could also run Grass Knot.
Grass Knot. So what about? I'd probably replace Cross Chop then. I'd probably go Grass Knot Stone Edge.
Yeah, you could run that. It's a little, but it's a bit of higher energy. But
yeah,
I mean, it's okay. Yep, Lileep. Again, you need a Ultra Legacy, unavailable, unobtainable Bullet Seed one, according to this. Good luck. I think Enhoff has one, so maybe if you're playing against the what is that? the Go Stadium Silver team. I think they're in the not open, but the next tier above. Be careful.
Muck, Shadow Muck would beat your ghosts generally.
Does it with poison jab? It beats the ghost.
I was thinking about
It has
Dark
coverage. It has coverage versus the ghost. I'm not sure if it
Fair
beats
enough.
the ghost.
Fair enough. What about War Rain? How does it do against War Rain?
It's not bad, but it's not as good as you would
great,
think.
yeah.
I've played that matchup out in Ultra League many times, specifically like Premier Classic, and not with Shadow, but with regular. Like, because a Thunder Punch doesn't KO the Walrun, right? Non-stab Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch is actually a really shit move. I just recently learned. So did you know that, like, in neutral matchups with Ampharos now, Brutal Swing does the same amount of damage as Thunder Punch, and they're both the same energy.
I didn't know it, but I'm not surprised.
And Thunder Punch gets stabbed. So that just shows you how bad Thunder Punch is. So, yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting because of the water types and the flying. Like, it seems kind of versatile. But it would really struggle against, like if they had like a Regirock or a Stunkfisk or something, like, it would really struggle. Like a Stunkfisk would just eat that thing for dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing else. Really
it's not too many Moltres. We're going over Moltres again. Jesus Christ, dude.
It just won't go away.
Poliwrath is down here, but that's because honestly, there's not that many good fighters. Like the fighters are very low ranked.
Yeah.
I don't think they're very strong, but I do think they have a place because of the ice and the rock, right?
Well,
but there is a lot of flying and
dragon. I do think Machamp still beats Noctowl even with the buff. Shadow Champ.
I think you have to bait. You have to bait.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
You have to bait because straight rock slide, then Machamp will get outpaced, right?
Yeah. Right.
Even before before it technically paced at the same time, but except for the third one, right? But now it 100% gets outpaced because it's 6.65 versus 7.67. So I guess you would have to have a couple counters lead, and even then, a Noctowl can survive a rock slide.
But still, like, if you're gonna expect your fighter to lose to Noctowl, obviously, if you want to bring a fighter, it's gonna have other jobs. It's gonna have another job in your team rather than being your flying counter.
Payback Machamp.
Having that ability to beat the Noctowl if absolutely necessary, I think is appealing.
No, it's good. There's not really any psychic types necessarily other than the Swoobat, right? And a lot of the flying types that people are going to be running are the normal flying. So I think the main thing that would wall that would be any ghosts and or Gallade. Yeah, I don't think it's horrible. I think it's definitely
if you're going to run a psychic type, I think Gallade is your best option.
I think Gallade is one of the better fighters. Just because of the confusion damage, again, with there being no darks or steals, there's nothing to really resist that fast move, right?
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of other psychic types.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of really good neutral damage, and you have like very menacing charge moves. So I really think it is good.
How does Gallade do against Noctowl? It wouldn't be great, would it?
It's fine, actually.
Is it?
You don't want to take a close combat.
Yeah, no. It does. I mean, it's only 53%.
Yeah, but with a couple confusions.
Confusion does 9%. So 9, 18, 27, 36. And then you're doing 53 there. So you're doing 90%.
That's quite a bit.
Go for it, Hayden.
Well, 07, turning on my shield. Mode does it. Okay.
I mean,
Good
there's.
luck.
I don't think we have enough viewers to really.
I'm gonna hold with bated breath and make sure. I hope Twitch doesn't explode. Okay.
I just got a notification saying that the shield mode is on.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I think I've played that matchup out before. It's not horrible.
If you can land the close combat and get through 2 extra confusions, so I would probably build to 6 confusions and then throw the close combat. Because, like, if you throw the close combat and then try and get the 2 more confusions you need to KO, then you're probably going to get wing attack down.
Yeah, it has potential, right? It has wing cons. And I think the grass charge move damage could be very useful in the meta.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's going to be quite strong, too. 19 has bullet seed.
Hey,
right?
Crazy Kid. Yes.
What's up, Crazy Kid?
Gudra has your power whip. Yeah, there's really not much grass damage at all, is there?
A lot of razor leaf.
There's Credilli.
I would lean towards Credilli if you really wanted to sneak in some grass damage.
Yeah. Over Glade?
No, not necessarily over Grilly, just over the other grasses.
I mean, Credilli has the extra advantage of not being weak to the ghosts.
And flying. But it also is weak to ice, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas water a little bit, not really, but whereas Glade would do better against like Walrus. Auroras is banned actually, Crazy Kid Dynamic. It was pretty good.
It would be.
Initially. Yeah. And then they buffed it with the Meteor Beam, and then they banned it after that because it looked too good.
There is Amora, which is looking pretty darn good.
Amora looks good.
But you've got to be able to XL it, which, like, it's going to be tough, and it's a level 50 XL.
Even a hundo, see, it says 47.5, so, like, if you got, like, a hundo, you could probably get away with, like, maybe 200 XLs or something, right? Something like that. But it's still quite a heavy investment, so, I mean, if you got those defits in rockets, not that I'm condoning that sort of thing, but I know a lot of people that do it. So, I mean, if you got one faction teammate that enjoys a good defit, tell them to get on that Amora. So, yeah, I think personally, I don't defit, but I know people that do, and nothing against them. They're not like.
Oh yeah, everything against them. Don't do it.
Peter. I mean, these are just people that enjoy playing the game for fun, right? So, if Niantic makes XLs inaccessible, people that want to just have fun with the game, what do? They make it more accessible, right?
I wouldn't say it's inaccessible though. It's just less accessible than other features of the game. Far be it for Niantic to make people work for the premium items in the game.
5,600 kilometers walked. And I've caught 133,000 Pokemon, so...
Cool.
I think I'm okay. How about you? What's your stats, Fish? Let's see. You've been playing since 2016. Let's go.
I did have a break for about a year and a half.
Okay.
7,300 Ks walked.
Okay, so I'm almost closing on you.
109,000 Pokemon caught.
Okay, so I have more than you.
What's
the start date? 133,000.
Oh, wow. And start date was the day one.
My start date was 10/03/2020.
Cool.
So, you're slacking. Conversation.
I'm just doing better things with my time.
What else is there to do? Work? Fuck that.
Actual.
Yeah,
slacking.
that's what I said. Keep slacking.
All right, I'll start defitting. How about that?
I mean, at least do something. Like this guy doesn't even have enough drag. He's complaining about not having enough Dragonite XLs the other day.
I wasn't complaining about it.
Who doesn't have enough Dragonite XLs? Please tell me. Guaranteed XLs is coming back next season, right? You know, the dream is to have a partner in life that that enjoys playing Pokemon, and then you can just like do daily trades with them and stuff. So, I mean, some of us have that dream and don't take advantage of it. Others of us wish they had that dream. So, right?
Yeah. Hi, Tyler. Right.
Tyler's wife plays.
I'm cutting it off now. We're done. We're finished.
Okay, never mind. Lily Bear is slacking pretty hard. She's walked quite a bit, but her catch rate is quite low. So never mind. I forgive you, Fish. I do like. I'm a little intense. Sometimes I do like AR quick catching and stuff.
You sure?
And she has 105 Dragonite Exos. I mean, you're not far off Fish. So, considering he's got over 100,000 catches and you're at 30, I'd say you're doing pretty well.
Let's raid Pocket Monster Max.
It's up to you, man. It's your stream. Well, I'm glad we could. Okay, so Hayden's got 3,600 kilometers? Or 36,000? Oh.
Thank you, Sandic.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really
This is
appreciate it.
bad.
So I think we got like a good handle on the meta. It's definitely very interesting. It's much more diversified than the other one. It's going to be very tricky. It's going to vary. I think your team comps are going to vary quite a bit week to week because if you change out one thing, it's going to kind of have a domino effect, right?
I agree.
So let's see how it goes.
All right. Tune in tomorrow to see HisuianRyan streaming, making his return, and then next week we've got the ring coming back. Lyle, it was so funny because like you were saying, you're complaining that you weren't being spun up, and then I spun up. You were one spot away. Like I saw your name come up, the thing slowed down, and then it just ticked over to the next name. And I'm like, oh,
this
buddy.
Is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is rigged.
You know, if you sub to the Patreon for $2 a month, then you get an extra entry on the wheel.
I don't know. It sounds like a scam to me, but maybe I'll have to consider it. I don't know.
All right, we're out.
Okay. Awesome job, Fish. Yeah, this meta is very tricky, I think. Definitely much more complex